So only I'll be visible, you're not visible?
You will be visible and me too, because I will have another camera.
Oh my god, you're...
It's a pleasure to introduce Aparna to the listeners of the podcast, because Aparna is singing a part in the latest song, the Ein kleines Stück song that I will release. So Aparna, welcome. First
Thank
of
you.
all, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining this project. I try to remember when we came to the topic that you were singing. I think we were talking about music stuff or the choir. I don't know.
Actually, we had been on this team. So we had been on this team dinner, and there was this. That was just the time I had moved to Munich, and I think Joan brought up the topic of what are my hobbies, and then I ended up saying that I have learned some music and carnatic music, and I remember that you were quite interested in the topic, and that's how. And I was also quite fascinated that you were interested in the whole topic of carnatic music, and then I remember we went for this coffee chat where you were asking more theoretical questions about carnatic music, and of course I don't have that kind of in-depth knowledge to be able to explain it in detail, but yeah, I think that's how the whole conversation started, and then the topic of choir came up.
Yeah, that is true. So I was fascinated to have someone close by that I can ask questions about Indian music, because it's always like fascinating me, these ragas and the structure and the harmonies and so on. So this is, I guess, exactly, this is where we figured out that there's something that we have in common, the love for music. And you said Carnatic music, so you are from this area, kind of?
So actually, I grew up in a family which is quite interested in Carnatic music as a hobby. We have Carnatic music. Carnatic music for us is associated with everything, right? Our festivals, even in our weddings, we sing. Or even during a common family meetup, it generally starts with food and music. That's how I grew up. So I'm not a trained Carnatic singer, but I'm somebody who grew up in that environment, and that's how I have this interest in me. So even now, if you ask me too many details about raga, I would probably not be able to answer, but I'm sure I can hum to one of the songs. So that's how it is.
You're more like from the practical side, not from the theoretical side.
Exactly. I've had lessons on and off. So the way I picked up was I had basics in Carnatic. At some point I stopped basics, and when I moved to the city to study for my higher studies, and I was always involved in music in the sense I was part of my school's music group, and when I was working also I was always part of some kind of a music group in the firm, and that's in parallel I would also learn Carnatic songs from teachers, but I never went too much into the basics or the theoretical aspects of it. So I wouldn't say I'm a Carnatic trained singer, but I sing Carnatic songs. That's the side of it.
Okay. And so we discussed this, and I think then I remember that I said, like, at some point I would love to do a song with your singing, right? So then we were looking like, how could this work? So you shared some of your SoundCloud recordings, I think, maybe from long time back. I don't know.
Yes,
they
exactly.
sounded like it's quite a while ago.
Yes. Most of them were like candid recordings, right? Whatever, even the song that I've shared with you and the one that we presented, it's just a candid recording. It's mostly me experimenting and trying to learn a song, and that's how most of my recordings are.
Exactly, and then we had a bit of a chat, and then you sent me some recordings. I don't know if this song is something that you also did on SoundCloud, the song that we used in the end, or is it something else?
It was actually not even on SoundCloud. That was just one morning when I bought ukulele after I came to Munich, right? And I was trying to record a song on WhatsApp. I literally just recorded the song on WhatsApp and then sent it across to you because it was just a random coincidence.
Yeah, I remember. And then I kind of how this all came together is then that I said, okay, if I want to work with this song, I need to understand what you are singing, because I was always thinking about like taking some samples, some sentences and so on, and I don't want to make them out of context that doesn't fit. Like if I rearrange sentences, they need to fit together. This is why I asked, and you provided kind of the original
song and the lyrics. Of course, this is not a Carnatic song at all, right? This is a movie song which I was just singing for fun. And yes, I think the meaning also, yeah, I was able to give you the translated lyrics for the song, and somehow it resonated with you, right? It fit well into your
Yeah, exactly. Like at this point, it was just like I need to start with one of the cupcakes now here. At this point, when you sent it to me, like I really found it. It's wonderful. It's like very poetic lyrics, like what was it? The heart of a girl is not like a swing or whatever. Like it's a very nice poetic language. But at this point, it was like a year back, I think, something.
Yes,
I think when you sent it to me, it's a long time back. I had no concrete idea what to do. But then now I was like into re-recording the song Ein kleines Stück, and for whatever reason, I thought about maybe some of your singings do fit to what I'm doing there. And so I was like looking at the songs again, listening to them, and then I figured out that the meaning is very, very good. So if I put some sentences, it could work together. And luckily enough, the harmony, like the melodies that I wanted to use, work perfectly. I think from the like out of context, these two sentences kind of make sense in the whole setting.
So for me, when you initially told me that you would like to work on me with the project, and then I was sending you the recordings, I was always curious about how we would fit in, right? The kind of songs that I'm singing, and I was obviously listening to your recordings from Mean Flowers, and I was just always wondering how we could possibly fit it in. And you were also worried about not hampering with the lyrics too much or changing the meaning too much. And when you actually sent me the recording now, I think more than anything, I was so amused by how well they fit in, right? The harmonies as well as the meaning as well, and the entire mode of the song. I'm quite happy with it.
That is good. That's good. I think it like these two things meant to come together like this, like your lyrics and the song. They really fit very well. So this is then what happened. So I was like re-recording the song, and then I was taking your sample for singing. Technically, what I did is that you were singing a bit too fast for my drum beat that I had, so I had to slow it down. But basically, I used the original tune that you're singing, and like I was adopting my like all my chords and my melodies to your tune, which even made it easier for me to sing, because like this song is like 30 years old, so I had a much higher voice 30 years ago, which is always what I recognize when I sing now. That the old songs are really a struggle to like keep the tune so high. So it's much lower now, which like suits me much better. So this is where I did, and then fit the recording, and I was super convinced it's really working out. And then I shared it last week with you, I think, like as a surprise. You were not expecting it.
So exactly. I just walked into office one day, and then you're like, you have news. That is out of nowhere. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe tell me a bit about the song. So it's a movie song. What is the movie called, like, if someone wants to watch it? Do you remember?
I don't actually remember the movie name. It is quite an old song. To be honest, I was not aware of the song. How I came to know about the song is that we had this weekly singing thing in our university hostel, where all of us just came out and we were asked to perform, and we would just sing. And one of the girls was supposed to sing this song, and she fell sick, and so then my friend was like, why don't you give it a try? And she just played the song for me. I learned it then and there, and I sang it. And that's it. That's all I know about the song. But now, after you actually made this recording, I was a little more curious about it. And since I'm always interested in Carnatic music, I try to relate everything to Carnatic music, right? So I ended up figuring out that this, actually you asked me for the movie, but I'm giving you a very different answer. This song belongs to a raga called Bahudari in Carnatic music. It's a child raga. It's not a mainstream raga. It's a raga which is derived from one of the main ragas. And I was able to see how beautifully what you sang has fitted into this, right? So maybe I can actually play the signature of the raga, right? So that basically you'll be able to get the flavor or the essence of the raga from it, right?
Very good preparation here. I'm impressed.
do, re, mi, fa, sol, and if the raga. And when you listen to that, you can already relate how your harmonies have fit into that. So I was never able to envision that, but now it was quite fascinating for me how your song also fitted into the same raga.
Yeah, that's fascinating, because I think like if I would have tried to like let's create a song based on this raga, I'm not sure if this
would have really
like
come
I might have failed, but like the other way around, having a song already and then kind of feeling that it could match, this was really a good coincidence. But we can take it from here for more of these things. Nice. So this is song. So we don't know the movie yet, so people can do some research and figure out. So my podcast is about like a suburb of Munich, about Germering. So the question is, did you grow up in a city or in a suburb? Like, what was your setting where you grew up?
I grew up in a very, very rural part of India. Even for India, like when I grew up in a very remote part of India called... nobody would know my village name, right? So I don't know if it's worth mentioning, but in a state called Kerala and in the district of Palakkad, it's in a place called Chitlanjeri. Not even people in Palakkad would know that place. It's very, very remote. And I grew up in a farmhouse surrounded by farm animals, and well, my parents are into agriculture in general. And I grew up there till my high school, so till around 15, I grew up there. And then we moved to the city because for higher education, well, we had moved to the city. And
so your parents moved with you then?
My mother actually moved with us. So what we did was we would stay in the city during the weekdays, and then I had a very old grandfather at the time, my father's father. So to take care of him, we had to come back. So every weekend we would come back. And after that I got placed in the university, and then I had to move completely to the city. So then I stayed in the hostel, and from there I moved to Bangalore. So I have stayed in multiple places as I grew up, to answer your question.
And then you moved to Bangalore, which is a big, big city.
That's a big, big city. Too big and too crowded.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another story then. Okay, but did you like it growing up in a rural area, or did you envision dreaming about like moving to a big city?
Yeah, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? Like, to be honest, growing up, it was quite lonely. I have a younger brother, so of course we kept each other company, but we always wished that we had more people, especially in our summer vacations when we had each other to play with or to spend time with. It's quite a lonely setting. It's a very beautiful setup, but in retrospect, I would love to have a place like that for holiday, but growing up, it would be nice to have at least, being surrounded by more people, I would say. But of course, growing up there in that kind of setting did give me a lot of other I did enjoy a lot of other aspects, like growing up with animals, seeing agriculture in real life, and a lot of things associated with that. Maybe even my connection with music came from there, because we grew up in a village, and we were surrounded by people and festivals engaging in music. But yeah, I would have preferred a city maybe.
Thank you very much for sharing the background of your carnatic singing. Can we call it like this? Because it's not a carnatic song, but it's...
That's not a carnatic song for sure, but yeah.
We can call it
like
this.
Call it
in this ein kleines Stück. And so thank you very much for sharing, for participating. Thank you very much for these delicious cupcakes.
My pleasure.
And on release day, we will celebrate, of course. We will bring some champagne and share with the team that this song is released. I think we should do this. And then, looking forward.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.